our friend, Mayor DeLito, affectionately known as Mayor.
Thank you all very much. You know, I've been a practicing Catholic all my life, but I must confess that I've always had a little bit of doubt about miracles. That is until this morning, when I saw Michique in church. That is the first miracle I've ever been witness to. Mike Miliani told me that some plaster fell from the ceiling and practically hit him. I almost made another serious mistake this morning when I arrived at the church. As is the custom, just about everyone I met said with chin down. And then I saw Mr. Santa Cruz. And I was going to say with chin down, and I thought to myself, what am I saying? So I said to him, with chin that bean down. State Representative Walter Brooks and beautiful wife Andrea, Chief Farrell and Dorothy Farrell, officers and members of the Saint Mary Magdalena Society, members of the Ladies Guild, everyone here. I can't tell you how pleased I am to be here once again, and I'd like to thank you all most sincerely for extending the invitation to me. I'd like to say also, as I've said on numerous occasions in the past, that this is a tradition certainly that ought to be maintained and carried on for a good many years. It's a beautiful tradition. It's the same tradition that our grandparents and our great-grandparents introduced, and one certainly that we ought to carry on, if for no other reason out of respect for them, because it meant so much to them. And I was delighted this morning to see so many young people, including my grandson, Biagio.
All right.
He has a little girlfriend already. But you mark my words, 25 or 28 years from now, he'll be the U.S. Senator from Connecticut. You know, I've said this many times in the past, and I'd like to say it again. The United States is the great nation that it is. And it has the vitality that it has principally because there are so many different ethnic groups and races in our society. It is truly the most cosmopolitan society on the face of the earth. And there was a time, of course, when they talked about the melting pot. And the melting pot has already been disproved as a myth. What makes this country great is the fact that there is so much diversity. There are so many different kinds of people. And every group, every ethnic group, every racial group has made a distinct contribution. But as I've said many times before, and now, of course, my ethnic pride is coming to the fore, there are very few groups, ethnic groups, on the face of the earth that have contributed as much to the welfare and to the culture of the United States and the rest of the world, for that matter, as have the Italians. And it's something that we ought to demonstrate publicly whenever we get an opportunity. We have a right to be proud of what we are. Obviously, first, we're Americans, but we should never forget our heritage, the heritage that our parents and our grandparents gave to us, and one that we must pass on to our children and they to their children. So please always bear in mind that when you celebrate in this way, you not only pay homage to your patron saint, and my patron saint, Saint Mary Magdalena, and of course I have to include Sant'Andrea also. But you also demonstrate your ethnic pride, and you also show respect for those who came before us, and that, in my judgment, is extremely important. Before I conclude, I'd like to take once again the opportunity to call to your attention the fact that Walter Brooks is present. He is the state representative for this district. He is coming up for election sometime soon, and I realize that this is not a political gathering, but I simply want you to know, as mayor of the city of New Haven, that he is a member of the Board of Aldermen and as a member of the state legislature has been extremely helpful to me in doing the many things that we've accomplished here in the city of New Haven, and it seems to me that it was important for me to impart that to you and to thank him publicly for all that he has done for us. I'd also like to acknowledge Chief Farrell, who has done a magnificent job as Chief of Police. His actually was my first appointment. We had worked together for a good many years, and certainly my faith in him has been justified. He's done a truly magnificent job, and bear in mind that I know what I'm talking about when I say that being Chief of Police in a city like New Haven is undoubtedly one of the most difficult jobs that anyone could have. But not only has he done a commendable job, but consider how good he's been to all of the people in this city, and certainly you recognize that because you can ask Chief Farrell for just about anything within reason, and he will do it. He's been here every year, as you know, and I think we owe him a tremendous debt. And Teresa Argento, my good friend, I accept to be honorary chairman. Of course, you might have asked me before you announced it. But that certainly is something that I will look forward to. I think it's a wonderful step in the right direction. Because let's face it, while there may be a distinction that is made based on the societies that we belong to, we are still all Italian Americans, we are still all Americans, and really our membership in societies pales into insignificance by comparison with the fact that we're all members of the human race. Having said that, once again, I want to thank you most sincerely for asking me to come here once again this morning. I'd like to say also that I deeply appreciated that wonderful tribute that was paid to me the night that we opened the feast. It didn't go unnoticed, and I want you to know that I'll always be deeply grateful to you.
Usually you save your keynote speaker until the end, but you know, in Wooster Square area, we're a very peculiar place. So I'd like to just ask the mayor of Wooster Square to stand up and take a bow, Luis DeLauro. This just about concludes our speaking program. We hope you enjoyed yourself. Come back this evening and enjoy the final night of our feast. I'd just like to recognize, you know, behind every strong man there's a strong woman, and I'd like to recognize the strong woman behind me, my wife, and all the other wives behind the strong men on this stage. Enjoy yourself, come back for the feast, and have a good time.